Now on to our second of our questions of the week, and it is, how would you rate the 2021 UK Open? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I think you have to say thumbs up. It was a fantastic tournament, and they did a really good job putting it on. And there were quirks with the coverage. Not having a spotter on board 2 could have, did distract a little from the board 2 coverage, and it led to the what was Danny Baggish thinking thing before finally people realized, it was just they had the wrong score on the board and therefore went to the wrong thing. But that's part of the quirk of the UK Open. You have these 8 boards going on at the same time, and there aren't the resources to have people at all the boards, and it makes it enjoyable. But that's really the only negative. Is like, okay, they didn't have all the resources needed to fully put on multiple boards of coverage, and that's understandable in a pandemic. And what they did have, though, is still top quality performances by some of the best players in the world. And unfortunately, we didn't even get to see all of them because of how deep the field was. It's absolutely a thumbs up for me. It was one of the highest quality UK Opens ever. Missing out on the crowd is always going to be disappointing, but in the end, we had the world number 1, we had the world number 2 in the semifinals, and they both lost to the 2 best players from the weekend. And you had James Wade lifting the title over Luke Humphreys, and, well, what could be a preview of a final 10 years from now as well. Granted, James Wade will one day be like Steve Beaton and still the top 16 in the world for the 40th year in a row. But no, it has to be a thumbs up for me. It was a top quality event.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I really enjoyed the weekend. It was a different setup, of course. As you mentioned, we didn't have the fans. It was away from Minehead, and we saw all the boards in the same room again, like we did when it was first held at the Reebok in Bolton. It was always going to be, I think, a little bit difficult, a little bit strange. I know we've got used to seeing these events behind closed doors, but this weekend it would have been a year since we saw darts with that full crowd, the UK Open last year. So it's been a long 12 months, I think, but it just goes to show really that what the PDC have done over the last 12 months since they've come out of that 4-month break, getting these events back on, and this one especially, as you say, the field of players that we had in the event all being there for the weekend, not like the World Championship where there was different players playing on different days. You had all these players in the same building, in the same venue at the same time. Took a lot to organise, I'm sure. So it was good to see a lot of, as you say, great darts over the weekend. Surprises all the way through, even going on to that semi-final lineup when you've got the world numbers 1 and 2 in the semi-finals. You're not expecting both of them to go out. I know there's a few people when the draw came out for the semi-finals, when they did that, they were saying, they've kept the top 2 apart so they can play in the final. Well, that wasn't the case, was it? Because they both lost in the semi-finals. But it is one of them events that we always look forward to every year. Did it miss something without having the crowd there? Yes, perhaps. But I think the players themselves, as we've seen during the last 12 months, they have put on a show for the fans watching at home. The first day is always chaotic, especially that afternoon session, even the evening session with the 8 boards still in action. But as we saw throughout the 3 days, it was great fun. And I didn't watch a lot of the boards outside of 1. The board 2 was on the PDC stream. I saw a lot of the main stage, and I thought they did a great job in covering all the action that was going on elsewhere. Ned Bolton has been doing that for a long time now. I thought he'd done a great job doing that. But yeah, given the circumstances, thumbs up for me as well.